It seems Nalyssa Smith's time with the Indiana Fever might be coming to an end as the season progresses. Tensions between Smith and the team's coaching staff, particularly head coach Christie Sides, have become more apparent, raising questions about Smith's future with the team. In the Fever's recent game against the Minnesota Lynx, Smith played only 10 minutes, a surprising and concerning development for a player of her caliber. During the game, her brother was live tweeting, expressing frustration with the coach's decision, especially regarding Smith's limited playing time and the position she was placed in. His tweet suggested that Smith wasn't being given a fair opportunity to succeed, a sentiment that many who followed her career might agree with. For those who remember Smith's days at Baylor, the decline in her performance in the Wnba is puzzling. At Baylor, she was a versatile and dynamic player, capable of shooting, finishing, and playing with a sense of urgency. The pull-up shots she used to take with confidence and speed at Baylor seem to have disappeared from her game since joining the Wnba. It's as though the player she was both in college and during her rookie season has faded away. Her brother attributes this decline to a confidence issue, which seems plausible given the circumstances. This season, the Fever have transitioned from a rebuilding phase to a team aiming for playoff contention, a significant shift in focus. For the first time in her Wnba career, Smith is part of a team with real aspirations of winning games and making a postseason run. This shift may have contributed to her confidence issues as the pressure to perform has increased, and her output in games has noticeably dropped. Smith has always been a strong rebounder, though her defense has never been a strong suit. However, she has the potential to be a volume scorer, a player who can rack up points quickly and effectively. This potential was evident when she played in international leagues during the off-season, where she excelled. But in the Wnba, she has struggled to find her footing, and her role with the Fever seems increasingly misaligned with her strengths. One possible solution could be a change of scenery. A team where Smith can come off the bench as a leading scorer might be the best fit for her at this stage in her career. Teams like the Atlanta Dream, who could benefit from an additional scoring option, might be an ideal landing spot if a trade were to happen. It's possible the Fever might not demand much in return, perhaps a couple of second-round picks, given how poorly Smith's current situation fits with the team. The question of whether Christie Sides is to blame for Smith's struggles is complicated. A coach's job is to win games and maximize the performance of the team, but it's also to develop and get the best out of individual players. If focusing on players like Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell means Smith's potential is sidelined, it's clear where the priorities lie. Smith has become the fourth option on the team, and while she occasionally steps up, she's often relegated to a secondary role, which has further eroded her confidence. Looking ahead, Smith faces matchups against teams like the Atlanta Dream, where she should perform well given their lack of a top-tier defender to counter her. However, against stronger opponents like the Connecticut Sun, she has struggled this season, failing to make an impact. These inconsistent performances have contributed to her diminished standing within the team. Recent social media activity suggests that Smith might be contemplating her future elsewhere. A cryptic Instagram post hinted at frustration but also resilience, with comments from fellow players indicating support. While it's not as overt as other instances where players have signaled their desire to leave, the signs are there. It's surprising that Smith wasn't moved before the trade deadline. Her perceived value around the league may be lower than her actual talent, which is unfortunate given her abilities. The power forward position is one of the most challenging in the league, and Smith, despite her talent, is finding it tough to compete at the highest level. In the end, it seems inevitable that Smith will part ways with the Fever. The relationship between her and Sides appears irreparable, and as long as Sides remains the coach, Smith's days in Indiana are likely numbered. The team's prior priorities have shifted, and unfortunately for Smith, she may no longer fit into the Fever's plans for the future.